Hello, everyone. Welcome in. I am your GM in the Great Barrier, and we are about to get started with some Star Trek adventures here today. Specifically, we are back for the long-awaited Star Trek Adventures Aegis. We are light on our main crew. Varying schedule complications have been rolled at this point, but we are still okay to proceed because we have some of our regular core group here. Specifically, we have joining us today one Panda playing Colonel Lillian Sharp, or whom ordinarily plays Colonel Lillian Sharp. How you doing there, Panda?
Doing pretty all right. Doing pretty all right.
Yeah. Missed the game, I'm sure. So,
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
yeah. And then we have Mr. Marcus Horn, Lieutenant Commander Marcus Horn, the ship's quote-unquote diplomat. How you doing there, Felix?
Good. I miss diplomating.
Yes, and your other jobs. But,
Mostly crew morale.
of course. But yeah, we will also be joined later by the player behind Xanter, but we're otherwise running a little bit light. A good bit of the cast here is not present, so we're doing something just very slightly different. And to help get that changed, let's go ahead and just switch this around here. So, none of these people. Well, Xanter, I'll move off to the side, but meet today's cast. Today in the... Oh, let's see, wait. So, we have today in the... our usual Colonel Sharp, the ship's captain, today in the role of Ensign Steward. One of the ship's resident science officers. We have, from his usual place of Marcus Horn, Felix playing one Ensign Hector Alvarez of the Security Division, and special guest stars today from those folks who watch the Broken Sword games. You might recognize them. That is our Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard game. From that, we have Calico, who some might remember as more often as our large Gorn engineer. Today in the role of Tally Shikaris. And how you doing there, Calico?
Good. Hi. I can never escape.
No, you can't. Alas, the barrier has entrapped all of you at this point. Among them, too, also captured by the barrier, would be one Cheesy, who those of you who watch Broken Sword might recognize as Traven Lex, today in the role of Tavashi Chikaris. Our two Andorian ensigns that we have today, if memory serves, Tavashi Chikaris would be in the medical division, and Tally Chikaris would be in the that's engineering division. Do I have those correct?
Yes.
Very good, very good. And we will be joined once Peter shows up, or once Pete gets in, we will be joined by Mr. Xanter as well. But for the time being, I think we are going to get started with this. Today's episode, Project Panic. So this will be a special game. As I was telling the players at the top, these are all supporting characters with the exception of Xanter. And unlike the way I usually play games, where it's a once per adventure activation of a supporting character, which subsequently grants you the chance to activate the supporting character, give them a point in a discipline, a point in an attribute, giving them a talent, value, or focus, something that lets you build out those characters. This is going to be a once per session affair, so as we run through the sessions, each time the character does, the first thing the character does, they get the chance to actually improve the character very slightly. So it'll be a chance for some fun here. But all that said, I think that we had better just jump into things with a quick log. This one coming from Ensign Crichton today. So I'm saving everybody the trouble of that, so let me just get here.
Peter has arrived.
I've been here the whole time. Shh, don't give it away.
Sorry.
All right, let's get this going. Communications Officer's Log, March 1st, 2155. Another day, another step further from home. Another step further from our most recent stop in the Groombridge system. It was a most unusual circumstance, discovering not just a survivor of the old Project Constellation team, but of a small Zindi hive in the making. The Colonel decided it was best to leave them as they were, given the amount of time and resources it would expend, although we did take at least a little bit of a delay to help them out, make sure that the ship would have more of a fighting chance to serve as a shelter. On the captain's orders, I've relayed messages towards Zindi space in the Delphic region, and sent updates back to Earth in order to just advise everyone of what has occurred here, and perhaps at least get a rescue out for the last human survivor at any rate. I don't know how much we're going to hear about this. Policy making will probably take time while they figure out what to do about this, and even the logistics of a rescue operation out here. My guess we'll probably have to wait until Echo 5 probe has been dropped, and we'll get a signal by then. In the meantime, we're continuing at a very brisk pace. The ship has been sustaining relatively high warp, bouncing between the upper warp factor 3 and low 4 range as the captain takes advantage of an interesting set of subspace currents to try to further our journey out into deep space. With some distance between us and any other star system, all that we have to do is to keep busy with various shipboard tasks, be they tactical drills, works in the science labs, maintenance on the engines and other systems. Just trying to pass the time and keep up on this new expedition of ours. We'll see how it goes. And so, I think on that note, that would be where we get the passing shot of the Aegis warping on by. As Crichton alludes to in the log, it has been some weeks since you've been just hauling through deep space at warp. And I think that as we start off with a first scene, there was actually a different idea of how to play the start off for our teaser. Panda, did you want the mandatory galley stop?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, as a certain cook from a different game might be aware, there is a particular ability that the ship's cook has in Star Trek Adventures. This came with the Klingon supplement. What this will do, in essence, is mandate a scene where the crew takes some time to eat. In most cases, it's meant to be between scenes when basically when crew would normally lose momentum before like between scenes, something I will admit I am not great about enforcing. In this case, it is going to be simply it's going to be a chance for you to earn some momentum at the start. So, I'll put all of the ensigns there. I'll also put Xanter in because Denobulans are a sociable bunch.
Yes, we are.
Alright, let's put Xanter in there as well. Xanter's token is heckin' large here.
It is hard to find non-alcoholic things for this thing.
I mean, Alonso might have served them as such anyway. So,
Oh no, they did. He absolutely did. I'm just trying to give alternatives here.
fair enough. Okay, so let me just place everyone in the galley here. Alonso will be visible momentarily. In the meantime, you are all welcome to seat yourselves as you so wish. You should all have token control. If anyone doesn't, please let me know, and I'll get that fixed.
And that one I can't use because that one will actually kill people. Okay.
Wow, an isometric galley. It's such an upgrade.
Yes, yes. There are unfortunately limits to what I can do with. I cannot produce something as such good quality in with Roll20 and Star Trek Online and whatnot.
Okay, I am ready. Sorry about that. Just what I was actually finishing typing when you made the suggestion.
Fair. Okay. So,
Okay.
So yeah, they're all sat about the galley, or rather, the mess hall. Alonso's coming from the galley. The window out ahead of you, for anyone that bothers to look, would be the standard look of deep space out before you, stars streaking past. It's, I'd say, very early afternoon. Alpha Shift is on its tail end at this point, and yeah, you are. I think that all of you have probably been off duty for the start of the day, as far as the regular shift goes. Although you can't help but think that some of you might be forgetting something. It'll come to you later. In the meantime, as Alonso's preparing to wheel out a cart of food, what's everybody doing? Or is anybody talking to each other, interacting, anything of the sort?
I think I'd be boring my sister with an article I read recently.
Oh, absolutely.
I swear
Dead
to God,
out of my mind.
I swear to God, if this is a stealth way to get into the where do babies come from, I'm taking it. That reminds me, I need to take that for the start of the session.
No, you don't have to.
Oh, but I do.
Aegis.
So what's the article about?
Space sickness. Apparently people, when they look out the window during hyperspace, I just thought of it. And apparently when they look out while you're going, the stars moving so fast makes them dizzy and gives them a sense of vertigo. And every now and then they just get sick and throw up.
What the hell are you? That's just motion sickness. Why do you
It's
have to
an
keep
article.
Why do you have to keep? Why do doctors have to keep adding pointless words?
Pointless words are classifications. It makes it different.
It's the same thing as motion sickness. We're just in space.
That's like saying the heart is the same thing as the cardiovascular system. It's not the same. It's a whole general idea.
Look, you get motion sickness when you see something move and you don't feel like you're moving. It's not that complicated.
But it's a different type of motion sickness. It's in space. That's what makes it so special.
Oh my
So-
god.
So you mean car sickness, right?
What's a car?
It's on the next table. Well, any flabbergasted by the question. I mean, any vehicle that moves. Like,
Just while the twins are
if you look
arguing,
outside and the movement doesn't match up to what you're experiencing, that's car sickness.
Actually, I actually heard that there's some merit to that article. there's something regarding humanoids and actually the subspace messing with our initial equilibrium overall.
What's humanoids? Have you met them?
That's the
Just kind of
classification
look,
that humans have
it's-
created.
I'm sorry.
It's a humanoid. It's a classification that humans brought up to explain the phenomenon that all of our species seem to have the same general body shape.
Oh, so they
They
named
call
it
it
after
humanoid.
themselves.
Seems
Yeah,
kind of
well.
Also, just
egotistical.
while the twins were arguing, like at the medical points, like Xantar was like about to open his mouth to explain before it was explained. It was like,
Yeah, I mean, that's how it works, right? If you're the first one to describe something, you get to name it.
I
not
feel like we all
generally,
used
but
bipedal for a while.
Bipedal or look, I didn't mean to be racist. I just you know what, I'm just gonna go back to what I'm doing. Sorry.
Wouldn't that be species?
Sure.
depends on the
Now you're just adding
classification.
more semantics. You don't need so many words.
On the contrary, I think more words are going to be needed, especially if we're dealing with these humans. No offense.
Agreed.
Yeah.
How is
Rock's
that
a
offensive?
rock.
I mean, rude, probably, maybe, fair. I don't know.
Forgive me, I'm still learning human customs. It's my first time serving aboard a human vessel.
Well, first time for everything.
No.
I mean, the first mission was fascinating.
Just to help give everybody a mental picture, or for those that might only be listening in, as we look about the room, let's. I think we could actually stand for slight descriptions of how people would refer to their characters. So, as a door opens from the galley to the mess hall, and everybody starts looking in that direction. Let's get the panning camera shot around and kind of go in order here with a quick description of the characters there. Pandy, you want to start us off?
Yeah. Ensign Stewart is a science officer who is about 5'1", 5'2". She is definitely in her early-ish 20s, looking quite young. Blonde with a loose ponytail. She definitely has a bit of a timid, sort of nervous sense to her, like she just recently came out of college and is just trying to do her job and did not expect it to be a high long-term adventure. She's just trying to make friends. She's was currently like looking at a number of data pads and just sort of doing her work while waiting for dinner or lunch to be ready, food to be ready. Though now she's wishing she didn't. she wishing she was back in her quarters.
Oh no, attention.
Fair enough. Going down the list, we have Ensign Hector Alvarez, as played by Felix. Here's a quick description of our friend from the security division.
Well, he has the red stripes of the security division and this kind of darkish skin, a little bit more darker than just a tan. About 5'7", 5'8"-ish. Young. Has like the first inclinations of will later be known as the pike hairdo, but not quite as glorious. But yeah, he is just someone who wants to experience more explosive research, literally as his passion is just explosives.
Completely fair, and that and the mastery of both hair gel and defying gravity with regard to the latter, or the former point, the pike hair.
Maybe both.
Yes. All right. Going on down the list, we'll cover our one main character. Xantar, tell us about yourself again.
Xandar is a fairly young Denoblian male. Standard skin tone with the familiar sort of ridges both along the temples and as well as along the ears. The one in between the chin and the line that's going between the forehead. Looks to be about sort of early 30s in age, human standard, but is quite familiar with the typical sort of Denobulan-like speckles, freckles along around the face as well. A very friendly demeanor, if a little awkward at times. Looks like he's trying to sort of fit in a bit more.
Gotcha. Cutting around the room then to our new Endorian instance. First, Caligo, tell us about Tally.
Tally was, an engineer that served within the Endorian military. And got picked up, after her and her brother's ship exploded a little bit onto a planet, and they got picked up by Starfleet along the way. And, they made some friends, they had some good times, so they ended up getting work with Starfleet from the outside of the Endoria.
Good stuff. So, I'd presume another another obviously fairly young officer.
Oh yeah. Lighter on the complexion side, for Endorians.
A sort of shorter cropped hair look, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Tavashi?
Tavashi stands a little differently than his sister. He's very high in posture. Whenever he eats, he makes sure his elbows are not touching the table. He uses the right utensils for the right things. He uses the big fork for the salads and the tiny forks for other things. And he's very meticulous when he puts his silverware back down. He doesn't put it in the middle of his plate, puts it to the sides. And his hair is meticulous in the same way. He has it very gelled. There is no strand out of form, and if there is, he immediately can feel it and put it back. But he does have the same eyes, nose, lips, and cheek structure as his sister. Dang near perfect picture.
You can tell they're siblings.
Almost like
I am the savage.
which is the evil twin, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you're also already part of the most human of all traditions, picking up strays.
Well, as
Nice to have a few more race species on the ship.
indeed. As the five of you glance around, you see an Orion gentleman wheeling his way through the table as he is carting out what appears to be a freshly made lunch. This is service that you rarely expect on this, at this particular hour. Normally, most of the time, it would just be things that are dispensed out of the trays here, but you were assured there is a fresh meal waiting for you. Panda, I'll give you the chance to activate Alonso here, so...
Yep. So
you
Alonso is a 6'9", 6'10", bulky, tatted up, bald male Orion. He does not look like he is part of Starfleet, except for the mandatory undershirt that definitely came from a uniform. And he is holding on one shoulder with one arm. He is holding a very, very large platter with a already partially carved targ. And in this cart is a number of things, which I will list right here in the general chat. As he's rolling along, he will he doesn't angrily slam it down, but he definitely drops the platter on tables with a bit of a clatter as he's all right. So with the privilege of the captain, The captain has decided that the lot of you can get the meal that I've made it. It's because because the boss decided that she wanted Targ than anything else. So, which pieces do what people want? And everyone else is getting. Oh, okay. I did.
Well,
we're
and-
inventing it right now in our game.
Yes.
Fair enough.
It has just been introduced.
All
I'm
right.
working so hard.
So for the main dish, out of character, everyone's getting a hunk of fresh Targ that's fresh, real, with fresh, real, and live gach, and a side of zilmka, lightly marinated in Targ blood, and a side cup of blood pie, and a single cup of blood wine from 20, well, you won't know it, but yes, a single cup of blood wine. He has a number of alternate dishes in the lower section, one of which is trying to crawl out, which is a lightly boiled and brined Praxian squid. A tub of larger worms, which he'll tell you is rock, that is marinated in a dark broth, also still wriggly, and a lightly boiled Brenda lung. He has a number of drinks also, which he set up off to the side. Which he points, that's Warnog. You only have 3 drinks apiece. I've been told that each of your departments will check. And that's Roctagino. It's coffee. It's hot, fresh. Probably like it. And if any one of you want more softer things, there is Bako, which is tea. But I wouldn't recommend the Boggle with the stuff. It's more generally for evenings. But apparently I was told by the other cook, who is a charlatan. He snaps over the direction of the galley.
He yells into the kitchen.
That possibly the lot of you would like something a bit more generous.
Just a knife
Light.
goes flying past his head.
So,
Well, I never had talk, but it does have ribs, I assume. Can I have some of those?
sure. He pulls out from his side. He pulls out freaking a Bowie knife that is probably could easily be considered like a short sword. As he just slices off fresh, rips a hunk of ribs and slaps it down on the plate.
Give me some of the leg then.
Alvarez, this is very rare meat you are being served here. Like, practically blue rare.
Just like Grandma used to make it.
If I may, I would like the lightly boiled Praxian squid, please.
He cleans it off. He cleans off the blade off the side of the platter, and then just grabs a leg of the squid and hacks it and puts on a plate. Puts the rest of the sides on the plate and hands it over to the doctor. Here you go, doctor.
Thank you.
The
Oh,
leg
and,
the leg just curls around the plate that you have.
Lovely. Much better when it's still live. Just lightly. Tell me, what is this blood wine you mentioned?
Potent stuff, doctor. Highly alcoholic, hence only 1 glass.
And what year did you say?
Oh,
What year did you say?
2099.
Oh,
Pretty good year.
well, it was the year that the UK finally left Europe, but
Oh dear.
Yes, he said good year.
Yes, but yes, sounds lovely. Thank you.
This is the only cup you're going to have, doctor, as per the captain's orders.
Understood.
Or he wouldn't say captain, he'd say boss.
But
Or
I will,
boss's
I
orders.
will ask, what is from what culture is most of this food from? It doesn't seem familiar to me.
Well, comes from the Klingons.
Pardon?
Klingons?
Is this what the Klingons eat?
little more fattened up Targ. I was really hoping to keep it for a few more months, but
I wonder if this explains their aggressive nature.
and you two looks over to the twins.
I'll take the bloody tog.
Any
Without
preference?
line. Leg.
I have 2 legs left.
The fatty one.
Well, you're out of luck there. He says, like he just grabs random leg, chops it, slaps it on the plate, puts the other stuff on there. Here you go.
Thank
I think I'll just get some tea. Yeah.
Have something with problem with the food? He just glares.
He
No.
has no sense of adventure.
Yes, I'm a very bland person. Salad and things for me.
Would have starved to death if I didn't force feed him.
That was haunting. So many bugs.
Then here, have some Zilka. Zilma.
Yeah, and I tried cooking them, but you kept complaining.
He slides you a small little bowl of what look like apricots, though they're definitely darkishly tinged, as they've certainly been marinated.
Oh, this is perfect. Thank you. Try to keep my body in perfect health. And I cut, instead of eating it with my hands, I just cut it with a fork and knife.
He just shakes his head in disgust and moves over to
Steward.
To Ford Steward, who's just kind of like, I'll just give me a small slice. I'm actually I snacked a little early. You did what? No, just look. It's been a long shift. He just slides, gives her a few things, which she just timidly tries to just poke at, and right. Thank you.
The rock wriggling onto her fork. So Alonso departs, and with that he does get. Well, before you, before I say anything, go ahead and finish your thought there, Panda.
No, he just because if anyone puts extras, I'm gonna put it in the freaking shelf, and he does outside of the targ, which he leaves a hefty chunk in there. That definitely has a blood splatter on the shelf a little bit, but yeah, then he leaves.
Yep. Well, before you leave, for 2 things, Panda. First, think about what you want to give to Alonso in terms of a talent value, or you still have space for a couple focuses, it looks like. I think that point-wise he might be up to date. The other thing I need you to do, since you have started off this scene using the chef's ability, would be to... what is it? Oh,
3 challenge dice?
yes, 3 challenge dice. The way this will work is that you generate 3 points, you roll 3 challenge dice. The number you roll will equal the points of momentum that you take. However, for every effect on the board, I take some additional threat.
And that's because he served alcohol, right?
Yes, because the blood wine actually allowed him to roll 3 additional dice here, was the thing.
So how many dice to roll?
You will roll 3 challenge dice. Okay.
Can I spend it? Hang on. Can I spend a value on this? He's only here for a second.
You know, I'll let you...
Reroll.
Tell you what. At the start here, I will note, Craig did grant a point of momentum. He spent some he spent some quatlus in order to affect this story by giving you some momentum, so you can go ahead and roll. You can spend the 1 point of momentum you already have to re-roll that dice pool. Okay, so that'll be 2 points of momentum and 1 additional point of threat there. Yep.
Cool. Let's see. I guess I'll focus to him. Let's see. Culinary arts, chemistry, improvised weapons, bartending. I got it. Okay.
Okay. Well, while you get on with that, everybody else begins picking through their food. Does anyone want to say anything before you all have to do a roll on this one?
Bottoms up.
Very good.
So has anyone had Klingon food before? He says he's trying to like shake off the rock that's actually climbing up the stem of her fork.
It's just meat. Whatever, and it's fresh. I've had worse.
It's still living.
So
Yes,
it.
apparently that's part of it. I remember one time we had Klingons visit my colony for whatever reason. Very unusual.
I mean, if you're upset about it wriggling, just stab it. You have a fork. You have a knife.
I believe that actually just makes them duplicate.
Oh, so if you're still hungry, keep going.
Also, worms, really?
Not high in protein.
He's not wrong.
So,
I just want to say I'm nothing like my sister. I want to point that out there.
She was also like,
I'm the cool one.
she also pokes the crust of the pie, and of course the pie has blood in it.
To be fair, Tavashi, it is better to learn to appreciate these new cultures, especially seeing as we're on a human vessel. I've been discovering many things that the Commander Shearer has been teaching me about human culture. There are some things that just baffle me.
I feel like I can find a less messy way to affiliate myself with culture.
before you go on there, Xantar, let me ask everybody to give me 1 fitness plus medicine roll. And on this one, I am calling the... Let's see, let me double check here. So this would have been a difficulty 3 roll. However, the Overland Gamer has also spent some quatlus, and in this case, it is to increase the difficulty. Specifically, so now you all have a difficulty 4 check to undergo.
Wow!
It gets better or worse because I am expending 3 points of threat to increase your complication range.
Oh God!
Fucking setting us up for failure.
Is this for the alcohol?
Well, the threat, I mean, that just manifested in terms of the threat that I got to draw from the meal, or like the decision to put blood wine in the meal. But this one is for, this is just for the very large proportion of very rare, very different food, let's say. And nobody is immune to this because even as you find out, Tavashi, as you start cutting up the fruit, as you start cutting the fruit with your fork and knife and start downing that, you get a rather unusual note to it that you steadily realize is probably related to the smell that's generally coming off of the food. Blood. particularly of the targ. So, roll your checks, everyone.
A question for
I'm
the
going to
DM.
use my determination of suck up and do your job.
For the auto crit.
Yep.
Okay.
Question for the DM. Would I be able
God.
to apply my talent cultural flexibility when determined to learn about an unfamiliar culture or tracked appropriately? Could I reduce the difficulty by 1?
I will allow that.
Yes.
Can I use my focus of xenoanthropology?
Not in this case.
No.
You're all some bloody chickens. You know, if you don't want it, he leans over to Stuart's plate and just takes a handful of the wriggling worms and stuffs them in its mouth, and then he will roll his roll with his 1 medicine and no focuses, like a goddamn boss.
Oh.
I'm still going to request if I can use Xeno.
There it goes.
You had the best chance, too.
I know.
No. I got 3.
Didn't even need a competition. How much was it?
It was a 4.
The 4.
Yeah. So Tavashi, that is a complication right there. I'm going to ask first.
You're not getting more threat.
So is it going to be narrative, or you do not yet have a value to buy off the
No.
to spend your spend your determination. You
Narrative.
could, however, give yourself a value because everybody is now activated at this point.
Sleeper agents activated. Wait, what?
Not again, Felix. DM, I feel this is an appropriate time for, to use my determination, of which I would like to use my value, enjoy your short life.
I love it.
To change one of those to an auto crit.
You don't even know what's going to happen.
Yes, I know.
Everyone is just panicking.
I don't care.
It'll be fine.
To be fair, it's Stewart. It's Stewart. Stewart is trying her best.
Okay, so the only problem
I'm
with
not
the
gonna use it.
I was going to say the only problem with the Xantar, let me resolve Tavashi here. So our first, as far as the activation, did you want to throw on the value and use that for determination?
The value I put in isn't really relevant to this, so I'm not going to use it. I don't think.
I see. So the narrative it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you in trying to avoid the dreadful the dreadful looking raw meat dishes that have been placed out before you. You thought you had escaped, and I think the worst part is like you have the ambient smell, which is bad enough. Then you have you have not just the taste of like the targ blood that is marinating this fruit, but it's honestly, part of it is just like the mental sensation of like thinking that you had avoided something and then realizing that you failed, or that this managed to kind of sneak up on you. The surprise makes it that much more unpleasant, and you feel much more nauseous. Yeah, that food isn't staying down too long, so I suggest you find the nearest waste receptacle or, I don't know, empty bowl at this point. Or sprint down to wherever the ship's restroom is.
I tap my lips with the napkin, stand up slowly, push my chair in, and then mad dash to the nearest waste receptacle.
Yep.
He's
Yep.
always had a weak stomach.
As you say this, Tally, with like a completely straight face at 2 successes, but your insides feel like they are just positively roiling. Nothing is sitting well with you. Hector, you might have done fine if you hadn't taken that extra handful of worms, because they wriggle down your throat and in your stomach. You felt all of it as it came down, and couldn't drink the blood wine fast enough. Xantar, settling the issue there, I'm generally not inclined to let a determination apply retroactively for the auto crit, but, I'll give you the chance this one time.
Thank
Or the alternative would be you could succeed at cost if you want to keep your determination, because you had technically reduced it to 3, you scored 2 successes, you were not that far off.
Yeah, go on, I'll do that instead.
Yep. So, as everyone else is, honestly, as bad as things are going for everybody, we are on the verge of that one particular signature scene from Family Guy, and, everybody just feeling dreadful. But Xantar's just sitting in the middle of it, just enjoying the food, or at least pretending
Enjoying
he
the
does.
squid.
Yes.
Fascinating.
Frickin' Alonso is just trying to take care of other things. He hears this storm of feet, and Alonso just grabs a friggin' handful of gawk and just kind of grumbles. And Orion, with yell attacks, says "weaklings" and just takes a biteful of it.
Now he has to roll.
Yeah. Weaklings. Oh.
Oh no, that gach was off.
Yeah.
He's only half dead.
Oh no, that's the feeding stock gach. Really, all of the gach was he thought was just meant for feeding stock. That's what he was feeding the Targon, but he had an extra leftover. So, yeah, all of you feel varying degrees of sick to your stomach, and Tavashi, as eventually comes back into the room, I'm going to rule that as part of the complication that came into play, I'm going to kind of have this hit everybody in a sense, and this is going to manifest as a ship-wide comm plays out. Steward, you're nearest to that. Actually first, yeah, that comm plays out, and over the voice comes the Chief Science Officer, Lieutenant Al Milnyuk. Ensign Steward, Ensign Shikaris.
Anson here, sir. How can I help?
You just make it to the door, or rather the response control.
Yeah.
And says, Ensign, are you in sickbay right now?
Without tapping the thing, she just says, "I really wish I was at the moment," but then just taps it. No, sir, I'm at the mess hall. Something I can help you with, sir?
Yes, the duty station I assigned you to on the roster yesterday. We have work to do in the engineering lab, and you are late.
I'm so sorry, sir. I'll be there in a moment. Excuse me, sir. Just clips off and just runs back to the bathroom.
Yep. It does help all of you, at least a little bit, with some of the sensation that you are all now slightly drunk, absent the employment of anti-intoxicants, that being one of the risks of the blood wine.
Yep, that's why it was only 1 cup.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so a little bit of time will elapse. Xantar, are you, amidst realizing that you yourself are slightly impaired, would you see to helping everybody with the intoxicant issue?
Yeah, I'll be going around doing my usual duties and just like, hey, lads, there we go.
Well, we're going to skip ahead a little bit, for while all of you are after the meal and after a little bit of struggling with that, letting your stomach settle, Some of you, coincidentally, are assigned to work in the engineering lab. So we will shift down. The people that start out there would be Ensigns Shikaris and Steward. The two of you have been assigned to help Lieutenant Melanyuk, while Ensign Alvarez is required to be stationed by captain's orders around the around the particular work that you are doing. For Alvarez and Shikaris, I'm going to say the two of you are new to the ship, so you don't necessarily know why the bits of technology that are being wheeled out are treated with this degree of security or care. And Melnyuk is rattling off some things as you go about that as well. Steward, you have a full understanding. Let's see.
She is caught. She is caught between a freaking tug of war between the captain and the new head of science, and she hates it.
Mm-hmm.
She really, really hates it.
No. Yeah. First thing, Shikaris, make sure that you only handle those bead-like objects. Do not make any direct contact with them, and make sure that the computers trying to interact with them are specifically cordoned off from other main computer functions. Apparently, the last time they used those, there was a whole mess, and Ensign Creighton's still now convinced that he sees a talking frog every so often.
Understood. I would rather not see what a frog is.
Small
Wait,
amphibian.
the frog's not real?
Small amphibian. What's an amphibian?
Too long to explain to one of the gearheads.
Oh man, I was hoping the frog was real.
There's actually a moratorium on 1930s movies for the next few months because of it.
Yeah.
The mere sound of 30s music gets Mr. Crichton a bit jumpy.
Yeah, for the rest of it, well, the captain's just exercising as much caution as she thinks is necessary, dealing with these leftovers, few pads and leftover storage boxes, material that they brought off from the shuttle of that one. There's apparently a passenger on board this vessel for an extensive part of the past year. A Vulcan gentleman. Seems that he was something of a scientist himself, so maybe we can find something interesting to do with our time. I trust, she says, looking at you, Ensign Alvarez, I trust you're willing to give us some latitude with working with this, so you're not going to step in and say no too often?
I mean, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do here anyway, so...
I don't know entirely, but apparently the captain thinks that ghosts will pop out or some other mechanical menace will show up, but I don't know.
Is that likely?
Not that I would have any reason to believe, she says. Most of the equipment here, well, most of it's computerized parts. I'll admit, I found one slightly interesting. She says, going over a very interesting, it appears to be a hand scanner, albeit something that's been augmented. It's been at her side pretty much the entire time as she's been talking about this. I'm probably going to hook this up and start running a few tests myself. Yeah, then we have a few other objects. There's this module here. She gestures to what appears to be a box atop a, basically a fair-sized stand that has an integrated power system in it. The box appears to be glowing inside, or there is a window that appears to glow. There is no sign that it contains anything, but it just appears to be like it's perpetually active.
I should remind, sir, that the guest did destroy the engines of the Republic at one time. She just gives like a strange, if polite, smile.
Oh, yes, 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 she says, glancing through another pod. Or rather, a data pad. Project Pulse, I think that was. Yeah. The antimatter systems on a ship like that, or the containment fields weren't meant to handle that degree of matter-antimatter regulation. Oh, I suppose that I can put you on that if you'd like, Ensign Shikaris. We're not going to be executing tests of any of these devices, that is to say, any live elements. This is purely for analytical purposes. Ensign Stewart, are you all right?
Out of question.
Yes.
How firm did the captain have to tell her absolutely not? How hard did the captain have to tell the lieutenant no to live tests?
Stewart is not.
Just too deep.
Stewart's not. Melnyuk is not particularly happy right now. I'll just say that much.
Yeah. I'm fine, sir. Just lunch isn't agreeing with me. I'm still able to work though. I think.
Well,
of course.
You look like you are going to. You look like you're going to contaminate all of the test samples, no matter where I put you right now. She goes over to the.
I can assure you, sir, there is nothing in my stomach right now that could contaminate anything. I think the fellow ensign can attest to that. She says.
She taps the intercom nonetheless. Engineering lab to sick bay. Can we get down a couple medical personnel? I think it honestly smells like a couple of my officers got into a biohazard here.
Door opens, in comes Xantar. Hey!
Yep. Tavashi in tow. Melnyuk's going to start some work of her own and say, really, what did you eat earlier?
Klingon food.
I can't deal with this right now. I'm going to let you do some work, and I'm going to let the environmental systems air this place out. Jeez. So Melnyuk will exit the lab as Xantar and Tavashi enter. So.
Doctor? Oh.
Still some after effects after lunch, I see.
I think some of those worms have clung on. I think.
Just sit down and let me see what I can do. He starts like messing around with his medical kit.
Doctor, the lieutenant has me give a job. I need to do it. I've been told as such.
Very well. I might have something just for this. And he gets,
I heard parasites are good for weight loss.
They are not.
Don't say that.
Only in certain xenobiologies. Humans, yes. Vulcans, mostly.
That sounds like a terrible idea all around.
Yeah, more or less. I'm trying to think of what's the pig-like species called again? I can't remember now.
Wait, say again?
The very aggressive engineering type race that disagrees with the Vulcans a lot. I can't remember the name.
Tellarites?
Tellarites, that's it.
I mean, I would hope that...
Parasite with the Tellarite? Never a good idea. Mood swings all over the place.
I mean, I would hope that after resource scarcity, we got rid of diet fats. Right next on the list.
I don't need a diet. I'm. You guys are terrible.
Uh,
I don't need this right now.
After a minute or two, Xantar presents you with some liquid in a flask and just here, drink this slowly.
She casts the liquid. How does it taste?
It's slightly citrusy.
Mm.
More blood wine.
Yeah. After initial taste, he'll just still drink it. Just as slowly as
There we
you
are.
can.
Sorry, just a mild acidic tincture. It should kill whatever worms are left inside and dissolve them, and take care of some of the alcohol effects.
Right.
I can't help but think of LaBelle and the salt lick.
So after that's a stone, baby. Like
Yeah.
that's his.
Yeah.
True love.
Yeah. So, is real quick. Otherwise, going around the room. Anyone else imminently looking over anything or trying to do anything in particular here?
Bless you.
It's probably
Okay.
like sightseeing without touching anything.
Yeah.
I expect a lot of weird things.
Yeah.
Doctor, what did you give her, if I may ask?
Oh, it's a minor acidic compound made from citrus fruit and something to bolster the body's immune system against alcohol.
Could you write down the compound in my data pad? I don't want to steal your work or anything. I just want to learn.
Oh, no, absolutely. I'm more than happy to help. Before he takes the data pad, though, he just quickly gets a spray, sprays his hands and sprays the data pad, and then takes it off you, and then sprays the section that you might have touched. Sorry, habit.
Oh,
And
no,
then
that's fine. I
puts it
understand.
in.
It's
Here you
probably
are.
better. I've never seen him wash his hands.
Oh no. That is almost tempting for the use of the GM complication that the Overland Gamer has bought for us using.
Shut up.
However,
Oh, more?
I have a different idea. Tally, is there any particular bit of gear you'd like to look over right now? You have the illuminated box. You have the beads. There are a few computer files you could get into if you so wished.
I mean, I think the beads, that seemed real interesting.
Okay. Now, the experiment that Mjolnir had in mind involved setting up basically a very light sort of photonic engagement. Not anything that would allow contact with or like actual physical contact with the beads between any of the crew members. The beads themselves are in a like transparent aluminum receptacle of sorts, but essentially arranging like a minor sort of communication type laser to just relay simple information at a low enough power level to see if it still responds, if it manifests anything, just something light of that nature. So I'm going to say that you have the moment to set up the laser. I'll give you actually a just a chance to earn a little bit of momentum. Let's call this a difficulty 1 control plus engineering roll. And if you would like, before the roll, you may either give them you may add to Tally a point of to a discipline or an attribute, or you may give them a talent, value, or focus if you didn't do it already earlier.
I gave him a value.
Okay, very good. I'm curious, so I peek in. Yeah. All right. So yeah, in that case, just control plus engineering. If you have anything that would deal with power systems or engineering equipment, then that would apply.
Wow, I have this focus called power systems right here.
Oh, good. and that will let you do that. Okay, that is a single success, so no momentum there. But you find that you are able to set that up, and at your leisure, you may initiate the first basic information tests.
All right.
So, firing up the laser then.
Firing up the laser.
All right.
The button.
You. Who's signaling? Who's trying to call over shipwide?
No.
No. The laser begins to interact with the beads, and things seem to be going okay for a moment. You're relaying very basic information. You actually see the string. You notice, however, not that the... Well, the weird thing is that the inputs to what you are sending, they start off very simply, but then they become much more complex. It looks as though, like, the code gets much more in-depth, complicated. That something just very strange. For an instant, you notice that, and suddenly there's a steady growing hum as the laser then begins to intensify. There's an increased glow, and then around all of you, a flash of light. And the complication takes effect. You all fall unconscious for a moment.
Well, missing the demon core box. What a great commander.
And we're here for a moment.
Guys, I found this really cool paperweight. It's got this thing that.
Yep. So, yeah, the panic is now afoot, everybody. I hope you are ready for our next little step here. I'll ask before we get into what comes next. Did anybody need to take like a quick bio break of any sort, or did anybody need a moment for anything as we step into the next part?
All good for
I'm
the
good.
moment?
Okay,
Yeah, should be good.
all good then. All right, well, keep things going then. A few moments well, near as you can tell, it may have only been a few moments, or it could have been a couple minutes or so, as the world is a little bit of a blur around you to start with. You kind of just start by making out like vague colors and shapes and the vague sensation of sound. There's also a bit of a buzzing sensation that all of you feel, like something very kind of close into your ears. Tally and Tavashi in particular, you find that is you find that there's like something more to that noise that you are dealing with, but you don't get a lot of time to focus on that as you begin to hear an alert tone calling out, a bit of looking around and seeing the slight bit of smoke. There's a bit of smoke as it appears that some of these systems appear to have, like there was some sort of overload as near as you can tell. But there's an intermittent alarm playing to indicate danger, basically, like possible fire hazard or like combustion of some sort. But all of you are like prone on the floor at the moment.
It's getting very uncomfortable that Stuart's actually getting used to these alerts. Yeah, she'll just crawl up. Is everyone okay? Hello?
Yep.
Oh, 5 more minutes.
Get up.
Come on, doctor. Come on.
Thank you.
The door.
Oh, wait, those are not my quarters.
Yep. As the next array of alarms play out, Melnyuk steps through the. Melnyuk steps back inside and just looks around. It's like, what the hell? And then she'll go over to the. She'll go over to the channel, or rather, she'll go over to the nearest pad and click on the button there. Engineering lab to bridge. I'll need a damage control team, a sensor team. We had some kind of overload in here. Bridge?
Can I respond? Or,
You may respond as sharp if you want.
yeah. Acknowledged Salmondan's report, and I will want to report what the hell happened, Lieutenant. She
I'll let you know once I have an idea of what happened or where everyone is. I'll get back to you, Captain.
She's getting emptier. She's getting emptier. Sure, clicked off.
Oh, God damn it.
We're okay, Lieutenant. Thanks for noticing.
Melnyuk just kind of looks around the area, not acknowledging you or paying you any sort of mind. Oh, what did they
Holly, what
do?
did you do?
What did they do?
Doctor, are we okay?
I'm getting a bad feeling here.
Let's have a look. Apologies, Lieutenant. I'll just see to the rest of the crew and make sure we're okay.
You pull the medical scanner that you had on your person, Doctor. It's actually a good moment to ask, what equipment does everybody have on their person right now?
Your typical stuff. A tricorder, probably a backup tricorder, a number of pads, small pads, tape measure, I don't know, something, or rather a probably some various tools to help out with a number of sciencey things here and there, loosely.
Okay. Xantar, you obviously have you have your medical scanner, and I think you're carrying a small kit of sorts.
Yeah, I'm carrying a small med kit with me, and probably have a standard tricorder on me just in case.
Let's see.
And this
Tavashi?
photon torpedo launcher. No.
Oh no.
I have a communicator, universal translator, and a medical variant scanner.
Very good.
Medical
Oh yeah, a universal translator. There we go. Yeah, she has that too.
Tally?
Communicator, scanner, engineering variant, universal translator, and an engineering kit.
Okay, so some light engineering materials there. And Alvarez.
Well, what does security personnel have here on the ship?
Well,
Communicator,
Like security scanner, pistol, gun, evac suit, license to kill.
The photon torpedo launcher.
Yeah, like I've no idea. I would not assume armed unless very special circumstances.
well, I
Imagine you'd have
think
a phase.
I mean, you are security, so you probably do have a phase pistol.
Also,
I'm at-
Xander will probably have a communicator as well, translator.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm going to rule that the non-humans on the ship are all probably at least equipped with universal translators. A communicator and hand scanner would be standard, though some of you have non-standard variants. Alvarez, I am prepared to say that you have a phase pistol. If you would like to buy the particle rifle, I would take an escalation cost in order to do that, so that would be a couple threat and a slightly riskier set of encounters to come, potentially.
No, I don't think that's necessary.
Okay.
Depends on how uncomfortable he is around.
Like a security scanner, if there is such a thing, which I'm not entirely sure of.
I think it's just a standard hand scanner.
Probably then that. Yeah. That's all I can think of at the moment that he would have.
Okay. So, Doctor, you said you were going to give everybody a quick scan.
Yes.
I would call this reason plus medicine.
Very good.
and I will call this a difficulty of 3 roll.
Ooh.
May I assist?
You may.
Oh,
Where is
please.
our momentum? Because nobody has momentum right now.
Oh, yes, I should award the 2 points of momentum that you properly have. Who would like to be designated momentum officer?
Sure, I'll do it.
Captain's prerogative.
Copy
Momentum
that.
officer.
There's no
There you
captain
go.
here, but I'll take it anyways.
I take it my focus in xenobiology would help here.
That would help.
Cool.
Do you want momentum?
Definitely need momentum. Yes. Can I spend a momentum to gain an extra die, please?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. As long as everyone else is okay with that.
Yeah. While the doctor is scanning, I wanted to go up to Bromwig. Bromwig? Was it Bromwig?
Melnick?
Mjolnir. I literally had the name in my head 5 seconds before I started trying to say it. And kind of wanted to touch you on the shoulder, like, Lieutenant, is everything all right? Because she said something weird that concerned me.
Yep. So let's see. Real quick, let me resolve the dice roll here, and so that is 4 successes on a difficulty 3 roll.
Back the momentum I took.
So far as you can tell, as long as you can tell, Xantar, the biosign readings do suggest that everyone that you are scanning is, they appear to be in good health. There is a slight unusual, maybe some light radiation exposure, but nothing that appears deleterious to anyone's cellular structures. And there's something unusual that your scanner is trying to pick up, as if there's some variance in the biosign readings that you are not familiar with, and that the tricorder, hand scanner, is not capable of identifying.
Guys, I need someone with smarter brain than me. Hello, guys?
What's happening?
Yes, what?
He like stands next to Mjolnir and tries to touch her shoulder, and the hand goes straight through.
Huh?
What's going on?
I might have an explanation. Xander sort of looking down at the scanner and looking up again.
Don't understand where I put
Yes?
them.
Ensign Steward. I think I might need your expertise here.
She's just agaped, like still staring at what just happened, just not freezing or not moving.
Ensign Steward.
Still waiting for that explanation, Doctor?
Oh, come on! Really? She's just like her shoulders sag and just looking frustrated. Are we ghosts?
We are not ghosts. Physically, we are fine, except for maybe a mild amount of very harmless radiation.
But that
There
says your ghost scanner. Of course you would say that ghosts are fine.
I try to do my job the best ability possible, and I freaking have to fight freaking Kzinti who want to eat me. I have to deal with Orions that apparently the captain's married to. I have to deal with this lady. Now,
Xantar has so many questions.
she just face palms,
Not
takes
right
deep
now.
breath.
Ensign Stewart, just deep breaths. Remember, you are an officer. You can deal with this.
Yes, because apparently I have to deal with everything on this ship because nobody else can.
Yep.
Are you still an officer if you're a ghost? Is there an after-death deal?
We're not ghosts.
The door opens and the quartermaster steps in with some of the other engineers. I was on the nearest damage control response team. Lieutenant, what happened? What happened in here? guess is as good as mine here. Something must have went awry here, some sort of explosion, and I can't find anybody now. I had
See?
a team in here. Let's see, Shakaris. Oh man, not Tally. She was a nice up and comer. Nice to see what those Andorians can bring aboard. Yeah, Steward, Chikaris, Xantar, the twins. I think one of the meatheads. They don't like being called that. Yeah, well, red stripes. What can I say? The engineers
Stewart
just
stands up straight. Stewart stands up straight and looks over and says, "So we can't touch matter, right? Like they can't hear us, Doctor."
It seems like we might be out of.
Wait.
I'm speculating here, but we don't seem to be in our current phase of reality.
So, okay, let's test that. She approaches the lieutenant, takes a deep breath, and suddenly glares and slaps and screams when we cut back to the real world. As she continues screaming. Go ahead, continue, GM.
You're right. Sorry, that was uncalled for. More just I'm not much for the Mako sort. Yeah, that's fair. Well, not even really that. Look, I'm sorry, Chief. I've got to find out what happened. I've got missing people. I've got experiments that could be contaminated or fried here and something like that. Top of that, at least there's a smoky smell covering up the smell of the whatever dreadful stuff came out of the mess hall today. Seriously. I'm gonna go and try and run some scans on the internal sensors, see if I can figure out where they got to. Have Crichton run a shipwide to just get the lab fixed up and don't touch anything else. So,
Meanwhile, in the ghost reality, Stewart is screaming so much freaking expletives at this lady, calling her so many words and not stopping.
I don't think that's working. That's really foul language. It's unnecessary.
Xantar leans over to Tally and just, is this a typical human behavior to this sort of ordeal, or is this very unique?
It feels great. All right? And I'll be quite upset if any of you tell her what I just said. Okay? Okay.
What's that human expression? What happens in the ghost realm stays in the ghost realm?
I thought it was father is the word.
Well.
Something about a place called Rome?
Look, let's just focus. We're apparently ghosts or invisible, phase through.
On that note,
what? Yes?
Doctor, you were able to use your scanner, right?
I was, yes. I would guess that whatever we had on our persons has joined us in this ghost realm. He sort of puts his hands up and does the finger thing, and then turns to Hector and goes, "Did I do that correctly?" And demonstrates the fingers again.
Look.
Sorry, what are you doing?
The quotation fingers.
Yes, Reapers.
I'm so confused. Are we ghosts or not?
We're not. Ghosts don't exist. We're just.
What? We don't exist?
We exist. Look, we think, therefore we are. We exist. Just calm down, please. Okay. Miss, she looks over to Tolly. Miss Tolly, what exactly were you working on or powering at the time?
It was an experiment the lieutenant wanted me to run.
Do you know which one?
With these beads, when pulse energy through them,
She
sort of
gestures.
started ramping up.
She gestures to what?
The Xyrillian beads.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, we're not ghosts because we are touching the floor. And if we were completely phased out of existence, we would be floating and probably not breathing. If anything, we're just... I don't know. Look, I need more time to figure this out. And she, like, taps her hand on the table. Do I go through the table?
It goes through the table.
And nothing about this makes sense. She says.
And Stuart, I have a very important question.
Yes.
If you can touch the table, why can't we touch the floor? He's kind of looking for something on the wall to hold on to, which I'm probably also phasing through.
As
Yep.
she grabs your arm and like hefts you back up. As I was saying, it's making no sense. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Just we'll work it out. We've got this is just apparently my day-to-day now. So okay. Doctor, if you can like do a more deep scan about whatever is affecting us, like radiation, or perhaps if she pulls out her own tricorder and starts tapping it. Can I grab my own tricorder?
The tricorder that is on, the hand scanner that is on your person.
Yeah.
You can pick up.
It's making no sense. She like says at the hand scanner and just starts typing it.
Well, as it is, Ensign, in my previous scan, I did pick up some anomaly that I wasn't able to identify biologically. Perhaps you would have better luck with it. Xanta will show the medical scanner.
Tally, are you feeling what I'm feeling?
What do you mean?
Like, it feels off.
Well, a lot of things are off at the moment.
Yes, but I'm talking more of our sensors off.
Like your sense of balance, touch, what?
I point to the top of my head. Off.
The antennae.
Oh. The antennae.
Oh yeah, how is that affecting?
It feels off.
Ooh.
Ew.
Off in what way?
Why? What are they
Balance?
doing?
Can I try to focus in and try and describe it?
And out of character, she's working on her tricorder as I have to step away for like 2 minutes.
Gotcha. Yeah. I guess if I were to like recap the sensation you were feeling as you came to, particularly when you were nearer the ground, you felt like you were hearing, and with the whatever sensory, like however you describe sensations that come through the antennae, it almost felt like something kind of. It felt like a buzz, but also a pressure, kind of when your head was nearer the floor, that just something that you don't ordinarily experience.
I describe it as buzzing and pressure.
Weird.
Is it still there, GM?
Well, now that you're standing up, you don't feel it as actively, but you get a little bit of it.
Like, are you standing next to a power line?
Kind of. I don't think it's electrical, though. I'm gonna lay on the floor.
The buzzing pressure sensation comes back as you get closer to the floor.
Ooh, I stand back up really quickly. Okay.
Head spins.
That it comes back when I'm on the floor, like fully. Whew.
All right. Let's see.
Can,
Let's see if it's
'cause-
just a you problem, and I'll
I-
take low.
I lie on the floor as well. Do I feel anything?
You feel like you hear a slight buzzing, Hector, but you don't get like the full array of what they're describing. Tally, you do, however.
Yep.
I'm back. She just looks over. I'm sorry, could you explain that? I was busy trying to figure what was going on. What?
Hector and Tally are lying on the floor. And Tally is nodding, kind of, yeah, I feel it too.
Yeah. Feel what?
Me and Tali are sensing something with our antennae.
Which is?
A buzzing and pressure, and it feels like it's coming from the floor. What's below here?
Immediately beneath the deck plating, various structural supports, artificial gravity generators, power lines from the EPS grid, and then below all of that, another deck. As this happens, incidentally, the damage control crew member from the engineering department walks through Tavashi and steps through Hector as he's still on the floor.
Ah! This is horrifying.
I think you need to
That's
talk
not
to them
right.
afterwards. Vash, you're too young for that.
Okay. Doctor,
Yeah.
can you figure out what sort of radiation that's afflicting us? If I could probably. Does my hand scanner figure out anything out of the character?
It's
give
not my
me-
specialty field.
Give me
There you
a reason plus science roll on this. Difficulty of 4.
Sweet. Reason, science. I'm actually good on those things. Atmospheric science, stellar atmospheric science. That's all the two that seem relevant, even close to relevant.
I don't think it quite works here.
Okay. Then I'm going to spend a focus here, if I can, so I can get an extra die.
Okay.
That's fine with people.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
Well, with 4
Nice.
successes on the board, yes, very nicely done. What your hand scanner is used to detecting, or what it is calibrated to, it initially doesn't give you something, but you're trying to use the results that you picked up or you're trying to compare the like the subject of what Xantar had detected. You're trying to compare your readouts to that, and you find that broadening the range on your hand scanner, you are able to partially detect some sort of radioactive field that you have never seen before. It appears once again to be in like a very low density, or not so sufficient as to have like caused any cellular damage or anything like that, but it is persistent around all of your biosign fields. I will note at that level of success too, you are picking up that distinct field system from one other location in the room that is not like tied to a biosign. The box that was atop the sort of mounting and power cell, it appears to have a residual signature of that sort, and indeed in the chamber of that, you can see there appears to be an object which is highly infused with this radiation.
All right. Well, good news. We're not ghosts. We're just currently basically covered in an amount of radiation that is keeping us out of temporarily, partially in reality. So we're fine. We're healthy. We're healthy, right, Doctor?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And maybe there's something over here that could help us, she says, looking over toward the box in that chamber. what's the item that's saturated?
Based on your sensor readout, it appears to be what I would describe as a fairly thick strip of what appears to be a mix of platinum and other rare earth objects. Or rare earth metals.
Given the amount of radiation that this odd radiation that's happening, it's not affecting our biology at all, right? No matter the quantity.
Say that again?
The radiation that's afflicting us right now that we're dusted up. The dust of radiation that we have on us that is doing all this weird shit. It's shown to not affect us biologically, right?
Not at the concentrations that you have. As far as you can tell.
All right. Does anyone here have a tool that I can grab something from afar on them? Because apparently we can't touch anything else.
When you say
Pliers
afar,
or
like
something?
how I might have a pair of tweezers in my med kit. I rummage around in my med kit for a pair of tweezers.
That's too small. Callie, your
Yes.
brother. I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. There's a lot of new people.
I
Yeah.
don't.
Is there? And you,
I
sir?
wouldn't- I
Looking at
mean,
it, Hector.
wouldn't even know how that. What kind of tool are you looking for that you just carry on your
Like a
person?
tongue, tweezers, scissors, pliers,
Yeah, sure. Let me just look in my tongue
screwdriver,
pocket.
friggin' a wrench. I don't know. Something.
Would
How do
you
you
like
grab something with a wrench?
Would you like the GM's help on this one?
Yes.
Let me check my engineering skit.
Yep.
Would you like to know
As you start checking through, another entity enters the room, passing directly through the door, and just from behind you, Xantar, is what can only be described as an asymmetrical, very hard-edged, moving heap of scrap. It appears to be bipedal, with varied with clawed and other sort of grasping implements on it. It whirs with the sounds of servos and gears grinding, allowing it to trot along, such as you would anthropomorphize this thing and give it a face. Most of that is encompassed by a bright red light as it
Whoa.
moves through. It is an angular just mass of machinery that I should clarify is just about under a meter tall.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
Still threatening, but considerably less than initially imagined.
It's still
I thought it was
it's
fucking massive.
it's still the size of Labrador. It's huge still. It's still big.
It's the largest independently operating robot type thing any of you have probably seen to date. It strolls toward the box, which I will note, when all of you were observing it previously, there was some sort of light, and as near as one could tell, an active field of sort. It is no longer active. It approaches the box, angles its sort of head scanner up, and then extends out the claw.
What?
It said directive?
Directed.
Can you understand us?
It seems to pay you no mind as...
That's where it says negative. It's like, wait a minute.
You could say it walked straight through the closed door.
It did.
Okay, good. I remember that correctly.
I will.
I'm carefully going closer and trying to just like slightly, I would say touch it, but it's more like poke it very, very gently. Can I just like, can I touch it? Like from as far away as I can. Like I stretch myself as much as I can.
I'll call this a control plus security roll with a difficulty of 1. Just for a little tap.
God damn it, Felix.
It's that kind of day.
Yep. You tried to touch what would be the lower end of its arm, but the servos were up and it like moves to the side as it extends out it extends out what appears to be the simpler of the two arm-like instruments, one with a sort of a very basic mechanical grasper or claw. It extends, and yep, at 3 successes, that is enough to succeed. That also goes to my pool, so I will take the threat there.
Wow.
And it pulls the platinum object through the container and just brings it, like the arm de-extends and brings it back, retracts. That's the word I'm looking for. The arm retracts and brings that back to its level. It gives a quick
Okay.
analysis.
Directive.
Wait, it's leaving?
Nope.
No,
Anyone know what this is?
He doesn't.
Like, and we your
Tavashi,
engineer, scan it. She says.
I'm going to ask first, just to reflect order here. Tavashi, what are you doing?
So I'm doing like a cow corral type thing where I'm keeping distance from it, but I'm standing in front of it saying, wait, hold on.
It continues to walk towards you.
Can I follow you? And silence means yes.
It makes no response.
Fine. I'm following it.
Okay. Are all the rest of you following this little robot?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Probably. Hey, wait for me. Scramble back up.
Yep. As you all walk directly through the closed door. Okay, so let's get everybody in order. So, let's see. We'll change the scenes here very slightly and allow you to move out in the hallway. So we've got Tavashi following close. We'll have, of course, Ensign Steward nearby, Tally and Xantar behind that. Alvarez kind of on the bringing up the rear at the moment. Let's just change that slightly and moving us over to the hallway set. Okay, there we go. Yep. So you are following this tiny little robot as it just trots along with the platinum object in tow. And would anyone like to do anything right now?
That's not Starfleet, is it?
No.
No.
Didn't think
not-
so.
I don't know. I don't want to pull out my scanner, and I'm gonna try and scan the little fella.
Okay. I'll call this an engineering and reason task with a difficulty of 1. I am positive that a power system focus, among other things, would apply here.
All right.
So
Do this shot. Hey.
that is 2 successes. So let's see here. Let me just get that. First, I actually do need to very quickly amend the threat counter, which apparently I can only do over on this screen here. So that is currently 12. And momentum, I think, is only 1 at the moment. Yes. Okay. So at 2 successes, you do net a momentum, so that does get you back to 2. That will stay accurate. So near as you can read out, Tally, this robot is constructed out of a hodgepodge of different scrap. You can find various sort of technical components from all manner of devices that have been integrated here. Like the circuitry is fairly simple. This is running almost off the equivalent of like a Raspberry Pi. For those not in the know, it's like a very simple computer device that's like just a tiny little circuit board.
Oh, yeah, I got one in my room. It's fucking somewhere.
Yeah.
Has it walked off?
It is continuing to walk, but it's running off very simple circuitry. The equipment seems to be assembled with the most like primitive of welds, but like still enough fine function to work. You don't imagine this thing is terribly smart or like that it's interactive. This isn't a full-on. This couldn't sustain a full-on like artificial intelligence if those things even existed.
Yeah, this is.
Don't talk bad about Minibot.
Yeah, Yeah, this thing is just strapped together. It's not going to be worth asking it any questions. It literally can't process whatever you're saying to it.
So where does it come from?
Well, I assume we're gonna. This our best bet is to find out where, because it's random strap.
I'm assuming whoever built him knows everything.
Hopefully, or knows enough.
They at least know they want that thing. Whatever's in that box.
Yeah, the bead.
To clarify, it was not the beads that they went for. It was instead a platinum object that appeared to have the same high concentration of the radiation which Stewart detected.
I see it.
Yep. So, oh, good.
Well, it's probably maybe someone got in the same problem we're in, and somehow built this.
But is this the first experiment?
I have no clue.
Let's
I'm
just hope
starting-
whoever made it might be able to help us with our affliction.
They're still alive.
I'm now starting to wonder if perhaps Mr. Soral did a bit more extensive research without us knowing. Jesus. But she follows a robot.
Yep. And you walk around, passing through the corridors and through crewmen that you walk past, or rather through. And it eventually takes you to the engineering deck, where the robot just walks once again through the door into main engineering.
All right.
Walk in with it.
Tally, this isn't a practical joke, is it? Not very funny.
If I could make jokes as practical, I'm sure you would have quit. Ever spending time with me.
So, you step through and you see main engineering is a bustle of activity. Commander Romanov appears to be working with the crew. I suppose the one retcon here is that Fernier is not upstairs, so let me change that here. You walk through into main engineering. You find it is the usual bustle of activity. Commander Romanov is working at the engine, and other crew appear to be running various diagnostics. Everything would seem usually in place as usual, with the exception for Minibot walking towards a segment to the left of the engine, and shortly afterwards, coming through a hatch, is a short, somewhat tattered, very graying figure with a beard as broad and wide as to cover a good bit of his shoulders, hair deeply unkempt, and eyes that look like they haven't seen sleep in some ages. Good. You are back. Do you have what you are programmed for?
Directive.
Good. Oh,
So what is it programmed for?
The old one looks to you. You can see me.
Yes, we're stuck like you are. Somehow. Can you explain it?
This has never happened. Oh, yes. Finally. Wait, no, bad. Is it? No. He just
we're
kind
here
of
to
looks
help.
up and help, rescue, fire.
Yes.
Yes. Good. Okay.
Wait, what do you mean by fire? What?
Yes. I am sorry. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe my luck. Right. Name. That's what you do. Yes. I am. My name. Yes. I am Bogdan Narkaleg. I have been stuck in this place for so long. Or not this place, but this place.
Like, not the ship?
The
This
ship isn't that old, I don't think.
this
It's old,
no
but not that old.
state. That's state condition.
That would make more sense. Yes.
How'd you get here? How'd we get here?
We are stuck this way because of that impudent cur of an imp of a Vulcan. He did this to me.
I believe it.
Plausible.
You all should know. You've all met that mischievous, the devilish, that not disappeared but still present force that
Before he became a
Soral.
classified yes, before he became a classified problem that we no longer discuss anymore. Yes, I'm aware.
Yes. Testing new technology. Yes, we tried to. We were pushing boundaries of science. Right. Hold on.
May I look you over?
Yep. He pulls something from his harness and winds up cranking at something. What? Oh. Sorry about that. I sometimes gotta run the extra bit of fluid in order to properly stimulate vocal cords. Other variation not working so well.
How long have you been stuck here?
Well, me, it's been a few years, he says.
Can Xantar give him a medical scan just to see how he's doing?
Yep. Reason plus medicine. I'm going to call this difficulty of 2.
Xenobiology applies. Medicine. Where's the button? There you are.
That is one success and a complication. I will say, just for above-board purposes, or to note, the Overland Gamer has recently spent Quatlus again and created a player advantage. So, if you want, first and foremost, that could be used to nullify the complication you've just taken. Otherwise, you can
Yes,
keep
please.
that in the back pocket, because we can either, for this other complication, you could either purchase, or rather, you could buy it off with threat, giving me the 2 threat, spend the momentum you have to buy it off, or accept a narrative complication.
Okay. What does everyone else think?
Oh, the complication could be bad. GM's evil. I've seen
I'm
it.
always for narrative.
I'm also always for narrative, but
Do it.
I will take the narrative and we'll keep the other bit for later then.
Yes.
Very good. Okay, so the narrative complication, let's see. Near as you can tell, for one thing off that scan, he seems to be just a little bit, well, his biosigns also read affected, albeit at higher concentration of the chronoton radiation. He does not appear broken down in any sense. Before you can really look too much at why that is, or like take a closer look, he reaches out, snatches the scanner out of your hand. Oh, and you brought more technology. Good. I can put this to use. Finish it in double
no,
the
no,
time.
that's- No, that's my medical scanner. I need that.
You need that for medical scans. I need this for getting us out of this whole thing. I'm the one that's
Perhaps, look, sir, we are all. I'm sure you're quite the. Look, we're stuck here as much as you are. We're all very talented, all very smart. Probably not a prodigy like you are, but honestly, my meter of the bullshit we have to deal with overall on this ship and the expedition overall has reached a limit. So please, please be a little more respectful, or otherwise I'll have Hector here shoot you and I will go figure out how to do this on my own. She says, can I roll for like intimidate or something? she's tired of the shit.
Stuart ain't taking shit today.
I'll lean over to Tavashi.
Stuart takes like freaking Felix, come back up here. Stuart takes so much shit on this ship.
It's like Hector leans over to like the doctor. I'm not sure I'm actually allowed to shoot people.
Your security. I would have thought you'd. Well, he's possibly a. Well, I'd rather you didn't shoot, to be fair.
I will say I'm spending a point of threat to increase your complication range. I'm spending another to buy Bogda and an additional D20 here.
Cool. Okay. Reason and command?
It would be presence here if you're
Damn
trying
it.
to intimidate. Frankly, it'd be more security at that stage.
Okay. Anthropology, because freaking it's a Tellarite. And Tellarites enjoy insults and bluster.
I'll let you get away with it this time.
Can I take a moment? If you guys mind if I take a momentum?
Please.
Do it.
2 successes.
Phew, not bad. I'll take that.
Let's see how Calig does. He looks at you. He looks at the medical scanner.
God damn it.
I'll be more respectful, but this is mine. And he licks it.
and Ranto's like, I don't need it anymore.
She just face palms. Great. I appreciate your respect. Now, please, if you can just. I wish you guys could see my hand movements, but just that stress sort of like hand raise of just like trying very hard not to strangle people. Can you please explain to me what has happened to us, to you, and how exactly you plan on fixing this. As certainly would like to help, or perhaps give you a better, safer solution to which we can get out of here all in one piece and not die, suffocate, or otherwise.
We also have more tech on us that could help.
Exactly.
Sounds delicious. Gather round and I'll tell you exactly what we're gonna do here. We're getting out of this, because right now, you, me, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and the mini bot. We
Just says director.
we are in a phase beyond them. We're in a reality beyond all the rest. See, me and
So
me
back to
and-
ghosts.
Hector, we are not ghosts.
Oh, if only we were. Then I would know this torment would end. Or at least that I would not know the feelings of hunger and thirst. I would have others to interact with. And I could have haunted that blasted Vulcan for many years. But no. We have all received a positive phase inversion factor of 0.05%. Possibly slightly more. Well, no. He pulls out the medical scanner that he's just licked. Yes, I have a slightly higher concentration, but it still stands. We have a 0.05 phase inversion. We are we have gone to a different phase of reality, a different state of matter. Not your typical conversion from gaseous to solid, or liquid, or plasma, or...
We get the point.
Yes.
She's like, yeah, just like enough of that.
Oh, we can pass through solid matter in a way that others cannot, or at least most of it. Some of this you can...
Floor.
Well, it's simple. Artificial gravity fields. We might not be in the proper phase, but the principles they operate on, they still repel even our phased matter. Same with the inertial dampeners, keeping us from being affected by changes in speed. Otherwise, without that, we'd get flung forward or backward from the ship any time it changed warp drive. Believe me, I thought about that long and hard. But no.
Man, I'm really glad I thought of that plot hole. Would have been really annoying if some nerds would have obsessed over it later.
I can already hear the wiki articles being written and the rants on Reddit.
Yep. Well, but no, with you here, I can finish this machine with you and your technology. Maybe a bit more help from Midibot too. Yes, we can do this. We are going to rephase ourselves. We are going to rejoin reality, and we shall know peace once again. But
That sounds like a good plan.
yes. Well, you're here to help. You will help me with this?
Except
Oh,
there's
yes.
one problem. We're in a subspace field right now. We need to. I don't know if we can phase back in without having. The laws are different while within this field due to a number of things. Sure.
Oh, don't you
Just-
It
worry.
phase while in. No, it's probably better if we phase back in while in warp instead of out, because we phased in while we were at warp.
That's a fair point.
Yes. He produces a different bit of hand equipment and presses some inputs. With as soon as he finishes executing that, Minibot steps into action,
Directive.
and we'll work out and say, yes, with your help, I can finish these last steps here, and we can complete this one salvation. Minibot reaches into the wall and pulls through an object. This is our ticket home. And as he gestures over that and we get a look at this bit of technology for the first time, I think that this is where we will call today's session.
Ah!
Yay!
Yay.
Glad to bring friggin' Stewart to the breaking point. I get
Just
tired of everybody's shit.
The camera just like finishes on Stuart's
She's
face,
going
just
insane. She's hitting space
Yeah.
madness.
eyes
Yeah.
twitching.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So, I hope you all have enjoyed the first part of Project Panic today. So, for those of you in the archive, this is where we will leave off. Till then, hope you all have a good rest of your day.